Beneath a shroud of dense, smoldering clouds, Titan stretches out in a landscape both stark and enchanting. The sky above is a deep orange, saturated like a dying ember, filtering sunlight into eerie gradients that fade into the haze. This orange veil, a mixture of nitrogen and methane, clings thickly to the moon, smothering it in a smoggy atmosphere. The sun, dimmed to a dull glow, struggles to cast its light through the murk, a feeble reminder of the distant solar warmth that Titan will never fully feel. The air here is unbreathable, freezing, yet ancient in its quiet hum of mystery. The ground sprawls as a frozen labyrinth of jagged ice formations and hydrocarbon seas, their inky surfaces rippling with ghostly reflections of alien light. Frozen methane dunes stretch endlessly toward a horizon that feels unreachable, their outlines warped by mirages born of sub-zero winds. Occasionally, a faint glint of metal winks through the frost, shapes and patterns carved inexplicably into the frozen crust. These surfaces tell no story, yet whisper of unknown intent, left behind by hands, mechanical or otherwise, unseen. Here, every detail feels deliberate, even in its stark randomness. Beyond, like a colossal, all-seeing sentinel, Saturn itself hangs on the periphery. Its rings arc in a delicate sweep, an exquisite yet oppressive presence in the sky. They serve as a reminder of what lies farther out in the void, an eternal witness to the enigmatic stillness of Titan below. Here, under this celestial colossus, time feels irrelevant, replaced by a creeping awareness that there is more to this place than mere geology. The lone figure of a humanoid robot traverses the plain, scarcely noticed save for its shadow passing briefly over the ridges of frost as it carves cryptic, intersecting glyphs into the surface. A faint, rhythmic hum accompanies its motion, a sound that could be machinery or something else entirely. Through the suffocating haze of Titan's orange clouds, a figure emerges, not human, but humanoid. Its metallic body gleams dully under the dim light filtering through the atmosphere, every step crunching softly against the frozen terrain. It walks with a deliberate rhythm, its long strides carving an unbroken path through shimmering valleys of jagged ice. The frigid wind swirls around it, tugging at its angular structure like a ghostly specter trying to wrest meaning from this solitary wanderer. Even in the bleak silence, it exudes an unsettling presence, neither hostile nor gentle, but unquestionably out of place. The robot does not belong here, and yet it moves as though drawn by a purpose older than the landscape unfolding before it. With each step, it seems both alien and intrinsic, as if its very being were tied to the desolation it traverses. Trailing behind the machine are strange symbols etched into the ice, sharp, geometric forms that glint faintly, as if infused with an otherworldly energy. The glyphs form an intricate, cryptic sequence, each mark seemingly deliberate, as though placed with the precision of a celestial clockmaker. A soft mechanical whir accompanies the robot's movements, its mechanism extending an elegant, multi-pronged tool to carve the frozen surface as it moves. What are these markings? A message for something watching from afar? A code not meant for human comprehension? From time to time, the robot pauses, its back to the camera, its faceless gaze fixed on an unseen point in the horizon. Somewhere beyond the endless wasteland, beyond Titan's alien skyline, lies a truth it seeks, and perhaps was designed to conceal. The robot slows to a halt on the icy expanse, its joints creaking faintly against the backdrop of howling methane winds. Standing motionless for a moment, it surveys its surroundings as if searching for something unseen. A glow emanates from its chest, faint, rhythmic, pulsing in time with the soft flicker of a cluster of lights embedded in its torso. And then it kneels. With a precise yet unhurried movement, it extends a slender arm, its metallic digits sinking slightly into the frozen surface below. From the tip of its index finger, a sharp, needle-like extension emerges. It begins to carve, dragging its tool with otherworldly exactitude across the brittle ice. A strange symbol materializes as it works. Delicate, yet precise lines curl and intersect with an almost mathematical elegance. The movements have an intuitive grace, as though guided by an unseen algorithm. The glyph deepens, each groove shimmering faintly, as if imbued with an energy foreign to this frozen wasteland. The sound it produces, not a scrape, but an uncanny hum paired with soft, harmonic overtones, reverberates through the empty expanse, unsettling yet mesmerizing. As the glyph nears completion, the horizon seems to waver, distorted by an unexplained force. Delicate tendrils of light snake out from the etched grooves, dissipating into the frosted air like evaporating vapor. The glyph stands out vividly against the desolation, its intricate form resembling a mechanical fusion of interlocking gears and star-like shapes. The robot rises slowly, its glowing chest lights dimming as it observes its creation in silence. The faint silhouette of Saturn looms overhead, imposing and eternal, while the strange etching radiates faint pulses as if awaiting recognition. As the dense orange haze momentarily thins, the camera glides over an alien tableau, endless sheets of frozen methane, fractured by jagged cracks that seem almost deliberate. Amid the frost-bitten stillness, jagged glyphs, shimmering faintly in the refracted glow of Saturn's light, come into focus. They are layered with impossible geometry, lines overlapping rings, sharp angular symbols aligning in broken, rhythmic staccatos. These are not isolated carvings. They the planes every couple of meters, carved deep into the crystalline ice, their reflective surfaces acting like shards of a fractured mirror, scattering muted light across the otherwise lifeless tundra. Further ahead, the glyphs grow denser, their patterns no longer just scattered and chaotic. Strings of symbols stretch in unnerving symmetry, their etched paths converging into radial arrangements, spirals, intersecting lines, and intricate loops that suggest a larger, unreadable design. Some appear carved with precision, their edges impossibly straight, as if no natural process could have shaped them. Amid the desolation, a singular repeating motif begins to stand out. Interconnected gears, merging seamlessly with faint starburst patterns, symbols that appear subtly, almost like fingerprints buried in the icy crust. This overlap of machinery and celestial motifs feels deliberate, haunting in its ambiguity. In the distance, the faint outline of the humanoid robot becomes visible again. It trudges through the haze, stopping briefly to observe one of the radial layouts carved into the surface, its reflective facade casting faint beams of light back into the dim surroundings. The glyphs surrounding the robot seem fresher, recently etched with more defined edges, as if its journey across Titan is not just aimless wandering but intentional, part of an infinitesimal task tied to these unearthly symbols. For a brief moment, the robot's shiny faceplate reflects Saturn's rings, now warped and impossibly distorted, an ominous reminder of something vast and hidden threading through these cold, silent expanses. Amid the desolate, orange haze of Titan, the camera hovers above the icy crust, honing in on a freshly etched glyph, a convergence of interlocking gears and radiant stars. The metallic sheen of the symbol refracts in the dim, diffuse light, giving it an otherworldly quality. The grooves of the gears appear impossibly precise, as if no human hand, not even this robot, could fully claim their design. And yet, the stars radiate with an almost celestial irregularity, their sharp lines cutting across the gears' curves in a way that feels both calculated and chaotic. What brought this emblem here? Is it a key, or merely a mark left by something older than memory? The camera draws closer still, examining the intersections where the gears seamlessly align with the starburst lines. Frost gathers in the recessed lines of the symbol, but it never fully conceals them. Beyond their distinct aesthetic, there's the haunting feeling that this design serves a greater purpose. Each groove, each angle, feels deliberate, as though whispering of forgotten blueprints, lost mechanisms waiting to be awoken. In the quiet stillness of Titan's frozen plains, a low, almost imperceptible thrumming hums through the air, as if the glyph resonates with the moon itself. Panning outward, the camera reveals more glyphs scattered across the icy expanse. Only the gears and stars symbol repeats, standing out like a signature amongst disparate, abstract forms. It's unclear if the robot, now a retreating silhouette in the distance, has left these deliberately for some unseen observer or if this pattern is itself a remnant of something far older. Above, Saturn looms faintly through the haze, its colossal presence casting long shadows over the frozen landscape, further amplifying the glyph's peculiar resonance. The moment lingers, suspense heavy in the silence, as if the landscape itself guards a secret it cannot yet share. Through the thick swirls of orange mist, a faint outline emerges as Saturn's rings dominate the sky, ethereal bands cutting through the void like ancient scars. The icy surface beneath reflects faint traces of the planet's glow, casting scattered specks of light across Titan's unyielding terrain. The robot halts, and the camera follows its gaze skyward. Though its expressionless face offers no clues, there is a haunting sense of awareness that permeates the moment. Saturn becomes less a celestial body and more an imposing specter looming over its desolate moon. The gears embedded in its chest faintly hum as the robot shifts and kneels once more. A sharp metallic tool emerges from its hand, a practiced motion tracing intricate patterns into the glacial landscape. The glyph left behind is unlike the others. It gleams with an odd symmetry that pulls comparisons to Saturn's rings. On closer inspection, the design overlays circles, lines, and intersecting star-shaped symbols with strangely harmonious precision. The glyph seems to almost live in the moment, a static design vibrating faintly against the icy canvas on which it's etched. The robot stands, its metallic frame glinting precariously in the fading light. The orange fog rolls in thicker now, consuming one glyph after the other in its wraith-like embrace. For a fleeting moment, the robot lingers, fixed in its lonely silhouette against the fading vision of Saturn in the distance. Then it begins to walk, its steps deliberate, trailing whispers of mystery with every movement. A final glyph, barely glimpsed before the tide of haze overtakes it, gleams vividly against the ice. A farewell? Or something else? Saturn's rings glow brighter for a moment, as if acknowledging a deeper connection, before the entire scene melts into obscurity.